गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति 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 Hari Om. Let there be peace, let there be peace and love amongst all the human beings of this universe. Let there be peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We have started the revision contemplation on the fourth chapter, that is the story of Leela. The story of Leela is very enchanting. Lot of good message, lot of the uh, wiser details have been explained here under the Lilopakyana, in which the first topic was Devi Vara Prapti, attainment of the boon by the goddess. The second topic which we have done is Purva Vrittanta, that is the early history. These two topics we have covered. Today we are going to start the Brahma Abhyas. Before we start the Brahma Abhyas, let us take a recap of Devi Vara Prapti, the attainment of boon from the goddess. How the Leela has attained the boon from goddess. The story goes like this. Leela had a very discriminative husband who was very pious. His name was Padma, and he was Vivekavan. Vivekavan means he can discriminate between good, bad, and other details, and he was doing great job as far as kingdom is concerned. And he had a charming wife, Leela, devoted to her husband. What happens is she thinks this thinking itself creates a problem, but she thinks that her husband is dearer to her and how she can keep him young as well as deathless. That's what is projection, her projection, and she met a lot of saints and sages. They said this is not possible because this is the way of life, this is the way world works on. So she then again reflected, met many people, and finally decided to do the austerities. There's a difference between austerities and the sadhana. Austerities persons do it only for having some gains, materialistic gains, some gains somewhere. So she thought that okay, let's do that. And before that, she thought that if her husband dies before her, then there is no problem because she's free. There is no problem to her mind. But if she dies before her husband, then she will be miserable. So she meditates, and do a lot of tapasya. And then Saraswati Amma gives her a darshan, and she asks Saraswati Amma if her husband dies before her. So that soul should not leave the hermitage. That's what is her first condition. And second condition is whenever I require, I'll call you. You have to come. That's what the Saraswati Amma said. So these two boons were given by Saraswati Amma to her. And she became Antardhyan, Saraswati Amma. And by the fortune or a misfortune, what happened is the king Padma died earlier, and the queen was in a torment of sorrow. She was in totally sorrow, depressed condition, but at the same time, Saraswati Amma came in front of her because she promised before calling itself. She came and she advised her to keep this body under the flower bed. Accordingly, she made an arrangement, but she was very much disturbed. So she asked Saraswati Amma, "Where did my husband reside? What does he do? And what is his nature? Let me to him. I am not able to live alone. I cannot live alone here." So that's what the Leela was telling this Saraswati Amma. But Saraswati Amma, instead of telling where her husband has gone, she started giving Brahma Tattva Upadesh. So what is the meaning? So if you are really dejected and unhappy on certain counts, maybe because of world, maybe because of some sad thing, you have to know that Brahma Tattva Upadesh, that is what is said as Samajdari. Understanding should be there in the life, and that's what Saraswati Amma also tried to do, bring the understanding in her life. And she told immediately, Chittakasham, Chidakasham, Akasham, cha Tritiyakam, Dabhya Shunyataram Vidhi, Chidakasham Varanane. So there are three kinds of sky. She started telling the all scriptural detail. Three kinds of sky. One is Bhutakash, second is Chintakash, and third is Chidakash. Bhutakash, Chintakash are the empty spaces you can feel till whatever the time. Keep on feeling, it will never get feel. Whereas Chidakash is a solid conscious existence. It's full. There is nothing you can add because it is all divinity, 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 or consciousness, consciousness, consciousness. Only bliss, bliss, bliss. So these two skies, Bhutakash and Chintakash, are empty spaces, whereas Chidakash is a solid conscious space. So that has been told by Saraswati Amma to Leela. And further, she advised that you have to attain the fixity by thinning the mind, cast off all thoughts, sab vichar chhod do. You will then attain to the true principle of state, which is the nature of whole, without doubt. There is no doubt you will attain that. Atyanta abhava sampatya. So by the complete non-existence of the world, and this stage is reached. Accordingly, then she practices and she attains that nirvikalpa samadhi. Moment she attains the nirvikalpa samadhi, what happens is she reaches the region where she could meet her husband and see him seated in the assembly of the great number of kings. And that King Padma has left the earlier body and now is young, 16 years old. So she was totally surprised. She could identify and she was totally surprised. So she again goes inside her inside room and sees the body is lying there. So then she asked the question to the goddess Saraswati Amma, what is this? And then she says this is a mere delusion. And then this was the first topic. Second topic is Purva Vrittanta, the early history. Then the Devi tells the earlier history that there is a Samsar Mandapa. In that Samsar Mandapa, what is there? In that Samsar Mandapa, all these conscious skies are there. And one of the sky, there was one Brahmin called as Vashishta. This is different than the Vashishta Seya. This is a Brahmin. So, and he had a very beautiful wife, very pious wife. Her name was Arundhati. And this Brahmin Vashishta thought that he has seen one retinue of king, and he says, kingship is a very delightful thing and fondled by good fortune. When shall I become a king? So now this Bhavana comes into the mind of this Vashishta Rishi, Vashishta Brahmin. And that's what happens with the Bhavana. Once the Bhavana happens, it takes fructifies maybe this life, maybe the next life. And then he dies, even the Arundhati dies, and he is born as King Padma, and that Arundhati is nothing but Sita. And that is been told. Accordingly, and that time also you asked me the same question. You don't allow this body of my husband to go out and let me know what is all this situation. Likewise, then same Saraswati Amma is now giving the boon second time to the same Arundhati or Leela. So likewise the story goes. And when she asks, now let me go to that couple, Arundhati and Vashishta Brahmin, so that I'll be in a position to see my earlier life. So what is happening is now the stories inside the stories, how the stories are built. Let's go to the first story. Vashishta Rishi is telling the story to the Rama. What is the story? In that Vashishta Rishi is telling the first story was like Rama, then Vishwamitra, then Vashishta Rishi and his father Dashratha was there. From there they came, they told two principles, rejection of Rama and then manner of origin. Now it has come to the Leela. What when Leela it has come is Leela and Padma. In the Leela and Padma story it comes Arundhati and uh, Vashishta Brahman. In that now she is going inside and inside, and now she is asking about great goddess. Let me to the world of that Brahmin couple. She wants to go to the Brahmin couple, and goddess says, become stainless by leaving the body. You have to meditate and leave this body. So when then you will be in with that Chidakash. When you are in the Chidakash, naturally you will see everything as a pure consciousness, and you will be in a position to go. So, so likewise, she has been told, and vasana tanavam, thinning of the mental impression, shall certainly arrive at your stage, then the notion of subtle and spiritual will again appear. So likewise, they told, and therefore, This Updesh she gave to this Leela when she was telling the early Vruttanta. And accordingly, now when she practiced like that, and we are now starting the third topic, that is Brahma Abhyasa. So now this Leela is asking a very good question and very important question, which is also applicable to our life. So let us see what is that question and how it is applicable to our life. The shloka number 35 from chapter number 4. लीला उवाच अत्रोपकुरुते ब्रूहि कोऽभ्यास कीदृशो तव स कथं पोषमायाति पुष्टे तस्मिश्च किं भवेत्. Tell me which or else what kind is the practice that helps here in the realization of Brahman. How does it undergo advancement? What happens when it grows? So now she's asking what is the self-realization, how it is possible to attain that, and how it grows. This is our also problem. Like we also contemplated 15 chapters. We also know so many things now. Our mind has also become very subtler. But now we are having the same question. How to now this make it solidified? It has to make intense. So every minute, every moment will remain our divinity stature, irrespective of what our external work we are doing. So Devi has given a very nice answer to it, and that we'll try to contemplate. The goddess said 36 sloka. Devi uvacha tadachintanam tatakatanam anyonyam tad prabodhanam etadek paratatvam cha tadabhyasad vidurbudha. What it means? Thinking of that. You have to think of that. Think about the divinity. Talking of that. We are doing that. Instructing one another of that. We are telling you have to instruct one another of that. Keep on telling one another of that. That's what contemplation. Every day we have to do that. And uh, having this as one of the highest goal. It should be your highest goal. Wise man consider these as the practices for realizing that. If you really want to realize that, that means what? Tattvamasi, you are divine. You want to realize that, remove all the doubts. So what has to be done? Thinking of that. Think about only the divinity. Whenever you see outside some sky, some birds moving into the sky, and then some trees, some ocean, some rivers, some mountains, some vehicles, some cities. You keep on moving, nobody is stopping you. But when you see all that, thinking of that, when you see any outside object externally, think about that. That means divinity. It is a manifestation of that. Talking of that. When you are talking to the people, talk only of that. Don't talk about the worldly things. Talk only about that. How the mind can become subtler. You should have this desire that mind should become subtler, calmer, happier, peaceful, cheerful, tranquil, and over and above, relaxed and cool. That is our aim. Instructing one another of that. So we can instruct people, provided people wants to do it or people wants to know it, then only we can instruct. Otherwise, there is no point telling. Having this as the one highest goal, the only goal. There is nothing else. Other goals are relative goal. How to manage life, how to earn money, how to keep balance, how to talk nicely with them. These are all okay, necessary in the relative world. But highest goal should be how my mind will become a wiser. Wise man consider that this is the practices of realizing that. So we have to do that. अत्यंत अभाव संपत्त्यो ध्यातु देयस्य वस्तुना युक्ता शास्त्रे यतन्ते येते brahma abhyasina asthira. So now in 37 shloka they says, those who strive by reasoning and by scriptures in the accomplishment of the complete non-existence of known objects and the knower, they are the firm practitioners of the realization of Brahman, that is the ultimate truth, then ultimate reality. So what has to be done? Reasoning has to be done as well as scriptures to be taken for a support. That is what has been told here. So it is like this is an experience without an experiencer. When duality of known and knower is completely absent, that is atyanta abhava sampatya, absolute absence, that which is present in absence is also the truth. This is to be known by yukti. This is called as yukti and supported by the scriptures. This shloka from 36 to 40 tells what is the practice of knowledge, and what is said here we are supposed to do that. That is the practice of knowledge. That's what we have started. So what has to be done? Remove all your doubts. Talk about only that tatakathanam. You have to talk about only that. And satsangat shravanam. Then work on that information, that is information converted into the conviction. And Paramatma absolute Tad is Paramatma absolute reality, unconditional by time, space and object. Desha Kal Vastu, this Paramatma is not affected. So what? Listen the talk twice, then knowledge will be picked up from maybe YouTube now and let it become your own experience. This knowledge, when you apply to your life, it will become your own experience. Let it become that. With this next shloka. Sargadave vanotpanna dushyam nasteva tatsada idam jagat aham jeti bodha abhyasat vidupare. The scene, the visible universe was not born even at the beginning of creation. That does not exist at all, always, this world. And I am in the supreme that is awakening to this truth is known as the practice of knowledge. So this is known as practice of knowledge. So what is that? This world is an illusion. This world is a long, long dream. This world, you have come here only for a pilgrimage. How you have come? Unmanifested has become the manifest. And moment it becomes manifest, we start getting attached to it. So what is that? You will always have a Dehatma Bhava, but don't take it real. Take it as a mithya and enjoy. So when conviction is practiced, then it becomes experience. This and this done and nothing else. Finite cannot comprehend that infinite. The mind disappears in the divinity. The student does not become wise, but he becomes one with absolute. There is no point of becoming wise. He becomes one with the absolute that has been told here. Drishya 39. Drishya sammeva bodhena रागाद्वेषादितानवे रतिबलोदितायास्यो ब्रह्माभ्यास च उच्यते. Let there be no doership involved in our life. Karma was done. We are doing karma, but there is no doership. That satisfaction which is strongly produced in the thinning of love and held by the knowledge of non-existence of the seed is called as the practice of Brahman. That means the seeing is happening, but it is like a mirror. Mirror takes the image, reflects the image but doesn't retain the image. It doesn't retain the image. Similarly, we can also enjoy our world in life, do everything whatever is required, but don't retain anything because you are behind, because you are Samanya Satta, because you are truth, because you are self, because you are undivided, unfragmented consciousness. You are only bliss, bliss, bliss. So interact, happily do everything, but don't allow it to contaminate your mind. That's what is said here. So as a result, success and failure will become equal. It will have nothing, no impact. They are firmly getting, abiding in absolute knowledge. They will never give up, nor they get hooked up somewhere. So likewise, 40th shloka. Tat abhyasena nirvanam tade abhyase mohoday sambhasheyo nishanam te nirvikalpa samadhina babhuvatu chidakasha rupan novam vomagakruti. Since liberation is attained by practice, the practice itself is a supreme fulfillment. So now we have come to the conclusion. How this is all possible? That is what has been told in shloka number 36. Tada chintanam, tada kathanam, anyanya tada prabodhanam, tada abhyas. So you have to do all these things. So what is that? So this is achieved only by the supreme fulfillment is achieved by the practice, practice, practice. So that's why everyday contemplation of the half an hour in English and maybe in Hindi in the evening times, or you can repeat whatever is done, or maybe studies can be done accordingly. So 1 hour minimum, half an hour morning and evening is a must. Then only your mind will always remain subtle, tranquil, blissful, cheerful, and over and above relaxed and cool. Conversing thus in the night, they too, Leela and Goddess, become the form of space of consciousness by Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So what has been done now? The goddess has made Leela also into the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So Leela has also dropped her body in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi and she also become a like goddess Saraswati with a Adi Daivik body, not the Adi Bhautik body. So she attained that and possessed by the bodily form of heavenly beings. So they have become like that and there is no problem for that. So what happens in such case? Let there be joy or sorrow, but joyful and sorrowful personalities are not born. That's all. Enjoy life, but don't become enjoyer. Enjoy everything, but don't become enjoyer. Brahma is Anand. We are practicing Brahma Abhyas. Then be Anand. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu madabhakti labate naram. This is what the Bhagavad Gita 18th Adhyaya says. So Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Moment you become Brahma Bhut, you become one with the divine, one with the Almighty, you become Prasannatma. You will be always in a blissful state, and na shochati na kankshiti. You will not think, and also you will not worry about anything. Na shochati na kankshiti. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu. Madabhakti lavate naram. So he sees everybody is that divine, 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 and then he gets the ultimate bhakti of that transcendent Emmanuel one without second reality. So Brahma is Anand. We are practicing Brahma Adhyas. And then be Anand. Brahma Bhuta Prasannata. That's what we said. They are firmly established in the truth which has been said by the Vedanta. So what is further? Shlok number 41 42. Durat duram abhipluptam tato brahmanda mandalat nirgatanyanya danu prapte mandalam brahmanaspadam tada tathastu sankalpat tatrata vadrushu smidve. So then hovering across from the distance to distance, going out of the orbit of the world, when they reached the outer world, which was the abode of Brahman, the people there saw them verily by the will of goddess. So people could see them because of the will of goddess. Otherwise, they were Adi Devik, they could not be seen. They are in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So what is said here is when such things are happening, so don't you are not supposed to when you are doing your sadhana, you do it for yourself. Don't tell to others and don't take the decisions for others. Stand apart, no need. Wholeheartedly follow Yoga Vasishtha. Don't change the path. Like you keep on digging the well here for some time at another location and then another location. So you'll never get a water. Rather than that, you will create a well at one point. Go deep till 24 feet or 30 feet or maybe with the bore 100 feet. And then you'll definitely should certainly will get a water. Similarly, when you follow scriptures, maybe one scripture only presently, Yoga Vasishtha, you are bound to get your mind subtler, subtler, subtler. And one day by the Almighty's grace, you will understand that you are itself is a Brahman and that experience you'll start getting. So next shloka, Namaste Vanadevibyam Ityukte Kusumanjalim Tatraya Jeshta Sharmata Sardam Gurujanedasa. So what happens is this lady which has a desire Leela and along with the Saraswati Amma reached the earlier house that is the Brahmin Vashishta and Arundhati's house. And the elder son then he makes the salutation offering the flowers to the goddess. Having said that, eldest Brahman says gave away handful of flowers along with the people of house. Everybody gave the flowers to them. So what then Devi says to him? पुत्रं सामृतिं पस्पर्श तेन सर्वशुचोजौ तत्र दृष्टा पुनरायाता लीला देवीमपृच्छत. She touched her head on she touched her son on the head, that is elder son. By that all gave up their grief. Moment she touched Saraswati Amma, so everybody become non-grief. Seeing that and having come again to the goddess, Leela asked. Then Leela again asked, what the Leela asked? मृत्यु से मृत्युर्जीवे सो यत्र राज्ये करोति मे तत्र अहम किं न त्रये दृष्टा अस्मि सुतेन किम. Where this soul of my dead husband rules the kingdom, there why have I not seen by them, the inhabitants, and why I have been seen by my son here? See, now the Leela is asking two questions. She was contemplating and she has a vision where her son was a 16-year-old king. She was sitting on all that, all company of people, but she was not seen there. But whereas now she is seen here, how this is possible? She is asking the question to Devi, and Devi gives a very nice answer to that. Devi watch 46 loke. अभ्यासेन विना अवत्से तदा ते द्वैत निश्चय नास्त अंगत्व अभवत सत्य संकल्पत्व बभूत न च. Child, she is saying to the Leela child, then without practice your firm belief in duality did not get extinct, nor was there the mental resolve for knowing the truth. When you are doing it the first time, you are not a mental resolve to know the truth, and nor even you are ready to leave the duality. Now, moment you have left the duality, you become transcendent immanent one without second. That means you become another Sarvaswati Amma, and you are going in a cosmic plane. So everybody can see it with the grace of Saraswati Amma, but earlier you cannot be seen. Adhyasi Satya Sankalpa Phalitam Te Yadisipat. Today we have truth as your aim, and therefore whatever was desired by you was born fruit. So whatever is desired by you, it will born fruit because truth is your aim. And with this Leela, as this Leela says, Aho Maya Smritam Yadnya Purva Janma Shatani Me Subhrantam Hi Maya Purvam Nana Videsi Yoniyu. Alas, hundreds of my previous birth have been remembered by me today. Indeed, I have wondered much in various kinds of woes earlier. See, moment her mind becomes subtler, moment her mind has become very much nearer, very close to the Saraswati Amma's mind, she immediately remembers, oh, previous birth, hundreds of birth, so much of suffering in all those births. Horrible. I have become worm sometime, I have become whatnot, sometime monkey, sometime donkey, sometime elephant, sometime tree, sometime fish. So many things and suffered, and everything suffered. So Leela immediately could go back because her mind has become very settler and because she has attended the Nirvikalpa Samadhi with the help of Saraswati Amma, she could understand this. And she is now comprehending how I am lucky that I could get Saraswati Amma this life, and she is telling us what she is telling us. Brahma Abhyas, and for Brahma Abhyas, what has to be done? Tada Chintanam, Tada Kathanam, Tada Tat Prabodhanam, Etad Abhyas. So you have to do this Abhyas. What are those Abhyas? You have to think about it. Tada Chintanam, Tada Kathanam, talk about that. Tat Prabodhanam, okay, give advice or this thing, reports to others. And Tada Abhyasa, this is only the Abhyas, this is only the practice for realizing that. And then only the ultimate reality will be achieved. And what is that practice? Now and then it has been told, whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, whether you want it or not, you are divine. So simple. But then you have to have this conviction converted into your experience. What happens otherwise is upadhis are created. Jiv Jagat Ishwar. Three of them. In fact, there is only one reality, and that is our experience. Bodhabhyas Vidur Buddha. Let us not have that wrong notion that we'll be in a position to love all. Like everybody, this is impossible because this mistake is because our understanding is not perfect. But don't carry the burden of personal likes and dislikes. Thus, this is Ragadvesha di Tanave. Although seen blue color of the sky does not influence us. Apply the principle, this principle in life. Everything is seen, but it is an illusionary, like mirage water, it is an illusionary. So, what is the knowledge? All that is pursued is appearance. It does not exist. It is mithya. This will lead this will we cannot have a desire for mirage water, and this will lead a desire. We will not have any desire for mirage water because we know that we enjoy that, but we never had an intention to take the mirage water at home. So no complaint about the mind. Even you have to drop the complaint about the mind. Sometimes the mind will be happy, sometimes mind will be dejected, sometimes mind will go somewhere here. Okay, it is a mind tendency. Don't worry, you remain happy. Let the mind go. Sometimes it doesn't cooperate with you. Go to sleep or go for a long walk so that then the things will be normalized. So this perception itself is a fulfillment in life. I only take upadhis and it is born. So what is that? Actor on the stage takes upadhis of all. All these upadhis are happening because of that. Every birth, and you can again now discriminate. Every birth have a pair of parents. You know that. So you have been told now there's so many births. So why to get dejected and unhappy because one pair of parents of now? Or other than you help them, do whatever service you have to do. I have been deluded by so many lives till date. इतने सारे जन्म मेरे हुए so many lives I have been deluded because of the upadhi. I appear to have become jivas. This upadhi only makes me jiva. I have become the jiva, and then because of this identification as body identification as soul identification, I am suffering for lives after the life. Now only I have got this Saraswati Amma for us, the Yogavaasishtha, that is Vasishtha Rishi and Ram we got, so that we will come out of this all misery of world. And what is that coming out of the misery? Only simple thing, understanding has to be developed. For what has to be done? It is said here, Tadat Kathanam, Tadachintanam, Tat Prabodhanam, Tad Abhyasat. We have to do this. Every day this lota has to be clean. That's what has been told. With this, we'll do the prayers and we'll do the next topic, that is Anantara Vrittantam, following story. We will do that tomorrow. And then last story is that last topic is Punaragaman. That maybe we'll see it day after tomorrow and we'll compile all this. It's a very enchanting story of Leela, and we'll try to take the whole advantage of that. The crux of this is we are here in this holy world only for being happy, only for knowing the truth, only having the better understanding day by day, and only remaining tranquil, contented, tranquil, blissful, cheerful, happy, and overall relaxed and cool for all the situations in life with this prayers. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsat Sri Ramachandra Arpanamastu, submitting the divine fruits to the holy feet of Sri Ram.